Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on a Tuesday edition of the program. We got some clouds in the forecast, a high right around 83 in our area.
That should be another nice day.
And lots to get to this morning. Spent most of the day outside mowing and picking up dog crap and refilling the bird feeder and all sorts of other stuff. Going to be out there again today working on that fire pit.
Mm-hmm. Good weather for it. Really
Want to get
nice
it done ASAP.
Mm-hmm.
Just me, though, today. Just me, no Chuck. Just a Brian production.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Bilse should be back from his fishing vacation. I believe he went to Colorado with the boys,
Wyoming,
the college boys, Wyoming.
Yes. I talked to him yesterday in an email, so yeah, he's back.
All right, so we'll see how that went, see how his little trip to Wyoming was, see if he caught anything interesting. And then we'll start talking, obviously, about the Brewers, who are getting ready for a playoff push with only about 30 games left in the regular season. Talk about the Packers, who are going to be wrapping up the preseason this week and then making the cuts and then getting ready for the season opener, which is on the road in Minnesota against the Vikings. They're going to be at the U.S. Bank Stadium. WiscoTrips.com, by the way, if you want to take a bus trip to that game, Packers-Vikings on the 13th.
I'd like to talk to him. He's obviously in Madison. And I'd like to see if he's got any insider information about Badger football. And just
Badgers, they open up next Sunday at Lambeau against Notre Dame. We're going to talk to him about that as well. So, yeah, lots to get to with Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show. We'll do that just after 8 a.m. Of course, a new edition of Bad News with Happy Music. We'll tell you what's new on New Release Tuesday. And when you almost die, they call it a...
I guess I don't... Going to the light? Is this what you're talking about? What? Faces of death?
You're in an elevator, and it suddenly gives out, and you plummet 20 feet, and then finally the emergency brakes clamp down and save your life.
It's a miracle. It's a air quote.
I was so close to
death that I saw an angel.
I was close to it.
I was very near it. Would you like me to put it all together for
Yes, for the love of Christ.
A near-death experience,
Thank you.
Brian?
Jesus, this game is not going to work. When you almost die, you have a near-death experience. Well, I didn't have one yesterday, but I had a near-kill experience. As in, someone almost died in my presence.
That's happened. Was it a choking thing?
No.
Was it an anaphylactic shock from a bee sting?
It was not. It wasn't passing out from seeing blood on a boat when someone cut themselves.
It wasn't that?
Which is a good thing because we got a guy on the Grenadier Corps who cuts himself every friggin' parade. He's got weak little girl hands. He's got to stop lotioning.
He bleeds
He's got to start callousing up them hands or something, putting them in rice. I don't know what he's got to do. He's got to do the hot coals, the sensei. You know, the sensei and the.
Was this a defibrillator situation?
No.
Oh, good. Shoo.
I was so out of sorts from this entire encounter that I didn't swear or freak out or anything. I just was aghast. I was aghast. We'll get to that a little later on. My story of my near-kill experience, which is different than a near-death experience because I wasn't the one near-death. Someone else was. Yeah. At my hands.
Wasn't an allergen, huh? They didn't have a couldn't breathe thing?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. Lots of other stuff to get to this morning. Rockmornings.com if you want to get in touch with us. We'd love to hear from you guys. Emails, text messages. If you want to send us voicemails or pictures or videos through the apps, you can do that as well.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Come and listen to a story about a man named Jed. Owns the 49ers, but in Ohio instead. Felt kind of lonely, so he thought that he would stay and find a gal that he could easily pay. He's a billionaire, offering $140 to trailer trash. Next thing you know, he's at the trailer park. Ain't no gal, her texts have all gone dark. Police said, Jed, this here is a sting. And now Niners fans have an embarrassing thing. Maybe Jed's luck will be better on Thursday when the Niners and Raiders play in Vegas, Sin City, Nevada, legal prostitution.
Oops. Is this real?
Yes.
Is this real life?
Yes. You're talking about a billionaire. A freaking billionaire.
I know. I saw this morning, and then I'm like, is this...
I guess that's how you get to be a billionaire, is you go cheap on the sex you're paying for. I don't know. I don't know. The guy that owns the 49ers, Jed York, busted in a solicitation prostitution sting at a trailer park in Ohio. This guy needed some yum-yum so bad that he went on Craigslist and found some hooker in a trailer park who ended up being a police sting. He was going to pay $140 for some good, but he ended up getting busted.
You remind me of my sister. Are you also a prostitute?
Yeah.
Are you, if you're,
the Robert Kraft thing, Asian, what is it, Orchids of Asia or whatever it was, he's at a massage parlor, right? Those are sex trafficking businesses. You kind of expect that, right? But some NFL owner who has, probably has a private jet and billions of dollars.
Yes.
York arrested on Sunday, posting the $5,000 bond. The original news report was that he got arrested with felony tools, and it was some sort of disturbing the peace or obstruction of it. They didn't say anything about prostitution until late yesterday afternoon. The affidavit states that he responded to an ad on a known prostitution website that, unbeknownst to him, was posted by an agent with the Mahoning Valley Human Trafficking Task Force.
That's awful.
The document states that Jed York, the owner of the San Francisco 49ers, arranged to have sexual activity with a woman in exchange for $140.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
He got to the location with the phone he used to arrange the meeting and was taken into custody. This guy,
filed for divorce from his wife in May, so
yeah.
all very,
you're rich though. And I get it. Maybe you don't want to get involved in a relationship and have your money tied up in other girls and all this stuff and someone saying things, but it's just, he pled no contest yesterday, misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct, possessing criminal tools, whatever the hell that means. Records state he was originally charged with engaging in prostitution, but it was amended to disorderly conduct as part of a plea agreement. Mm-hmm. However, the news still got out there that the billionaire owner of the San Francisco 49ers was ready to pay $140 for some sex in a trailer park.
Mm-hmm. And apparently they've been, investigating for a long time throughout the state for human trafficking, which is horrific, right?
Yes.
So they're proud of the work that they've been doing, trying to, bust these trafficking rings, yes. Well, and get women safe and figure out who's running the whole thing, right? But then they get people from all walks of life, and and here you are with an NFL owner or whatever. From that to a handyman down the street, they're all clients apparently. And
well, I was listening, as I always do, to Boston Sports Talk Radio after the show yesterday. And the initial report was that Jed York, the owner of the 49ers, got arrested in Ohio and posted, bond, and it was burglary tools and disorderly conduct. And then an hour later, it was it's solicitation, and it was looking to pay $140 in a trailer park in Ohio. It's what is going on? Switching gears from Ohio to the state of Wisconsin. The coolest thing made in Wisconsin contest is back.
I love this.
They're doing it again. Wisconsin businesses make a lot of really cool things, but the Wisconsin Manufacturers and Commerce needs your help to determine the coolest thing made in Wisconsin for 2026. The WMC, which is the Combined State Chamber of Commerce and Manufacturers Association, along with BMO, the presenting sponsor of the contest, have opened up nominations for the annual award that showcases Wisconsin-based manufacturers' ingenuity in industries all the way from agricultural to advanced technologies. You can take a look at some of the stuff that's been voted on in the past. By the way, the voting starts at the end of September, goes all the way through the end of October, where they announce the winner. In 2016, it was the Milwaukee 8 engine from Harley-Davidson.
Yep. Some of these are heavy hitters here.
2018, it was Uncle Mike's Bake Shop, the sea salt caramel pecan Kringles.
I remember that.
That was 2018, De Pere. Manitowoc-based Broadwind's 140-ton Navy crane was the 2021 winner. And last year, 2025, it was the Marion-based Thousand Island Airboats that won the award. You can obviously give this a Google if you want to find out how you can nominate a really cool thing that's made right here in Wisconsin.
Obviously, they've had winners in the cheese category and boats and beer and all-terrain vehicles.
Harley Davidson, as I mentioned.
All of that stuff. So, but yeah, there will be a tournament-style bracket, like a top 16, and then it'll continue with head-to-head matchups.
Staying in the state of Wisconsin, an officer is getting jail time after using the flock cameras to track an ex-girlfriend. This is the problem.
I think I knew about this, right?
This is the problem. Well, one of the many problems with the flock cameras, right, is that they're being used inappropriately. Wisconsin police officer sentenced to jail after using the nationwide network of flock cameras, the plate reader cameras, to track his ex-girlfriend. After pleading no contest to felony misconduct in public office, 32-year-old Menasha police officer Christian Morales was sentenced to 6 months in jail, along with 3 years of probation. While off duty, this guy ran 7 searches through Flock Safety's network of between 15,234 to 92,702 cameras as he tried to find a vehicle tied to his former girlfriend. That set in motion an investigation when the woman was contacting the Appleton Police Department because she thought she was being tracked. During court proceedings, she described a pattern of controlling and violent behavior. She said, "I'm here because I lived through something that changed my life." And now this guy's going to jail for just 6 months, but 3 years of probation. I'm guessing he's not going to have his job either. Morales told the court, "I take responsibility for the decision I made. Similar cases in Wisconsin have had very different outcomes, including probation-only deals or no criminal charges at all." But that's the big scary thing with these flock cameras, or one of the big scary things, is that police officers are using them illegally to track ex-girlfriends or who knows who. Target apologizing for a Halloween costume. This is a circus clown costume. Critics say that it appears to conjure up blackface and 19th century minstrel shows. It was called the Kids Glows Under Blacklight Circus Clown Halloween costume, which is a real mouthful. It was posted on their website, and apparently people on social media got really pissy. They have pulled it since. They said, "As a company, we know we got this wrong, and we are deeply sorry. The costume is offensive and should never have been part of our assortment." I don't know if this is one of these AI things where nobody actually got a set of human eyes on it, and maybe it just went through and they just said, "Hey, it's a clown costume for kids. No one's going to care." And then the next thing you know, someone actually sees it, and it's like, "Oh, yeah. We can't be doing that."
Right. It's like an orange and black kind of checkered pattern, if you will, like a printed bodysuit, and then it had a hood with like a kind of an exaggerated smile and a little tiny top hat at the top of it. So
yeah, they've pulled that off of their website and out of their stores, so you can't buy it anymore. I'm going to ask you to identify a sound. Are you ready for this?
Probably not.
Listen closely here.
Долбоёб, сука, тупорылый, отходи! Ты чё, ебан? Ёбнутый, что ли, блядь, совсем? Ты упал же, блядь. Ты ебанутый?
So it's guys fighting something. There's something in the background. Is there is it a rattler? Is it some sort of cobra? Is it a rabid woodchuck?
No, it's not a rabid woodchuck. It is a trainee for the Russian military who botched a bazooka.
So that was an explosion?
You're familiar with a bazooka,
sure,
right? Put it on the shoulder, shoots the rocket, goes out.
It went backwards?
No. So this person, I think they were very scared of the weapon itself, very timid and afraid of what it could do, the damage it could do. And so they kind of put it up on their shoulder like you would a bazooka. And, you're supposed to use your shoulder to sort of steady the weapon. And then you've got the launching mechanism here in the front. The trigger, if you will, and there's a guy, I don't know, somebody several yards behind this person videotaping them, and as they're getting ready to let loose on this bazooka, they kind of lean forward, and the next thing you know, the missile, the projectile from the bazooka goes straight into the ground in front of them. If you haven't, and it doesn't explode, but it certainly causes a ruckus.
Cause a ruckus.
Is that a bazooka?
It is a bazooka. This idiot from the Russian military training on the bazooka, maybe not making it through the first day of training.
Bazooka?
I have a permit for that.
I don't know if the guy's got a permit for that, but uploaded to a Ukrainian Telegram channel yesterday. A hapless trainee standing in a clear field as he armed the bazooka, struggling to balance the weapon on his shoulder, leaning in to slide forward and escape. It goes down and it just fires off the road. You haven't seen the video. The New York Post has got the video of it. It's pretty funny to watch if you haven't seen it. And last but not least,
Warning.
This is an official PS alert. PS alert. You are hearing the very first pumpkin spice reference of the year. Repeat, this is the first pumpkin spice reference. More are sure to follow. You may now continue with your summer activities. PS alert.
Today is the day, Gene.
Today's today,
The PSLs are back on the Starbucks menu. White women rejoice. Put out your live, laugh, love signs and get ready for spooky season and Lifetime channel movies about football players coming back to town and flannel dudes with beards. PSLs are back, Gene. Pumpkin spice latte.
Yes, fall menu.
The fall menu on Starbucks is very
sweater
sugary.
weather. It's sweater weather.
Boots and hats and boots and hats is what my wife and I call it. When we go to the it's apple orchard season, bitches.
Yeah, it's going to be mid-80s for the ice cream.
A lot of gram-worthy. Taking pictures for the gram with my PSLs.
Starbucks has a new chai meat cider drink on the menu.
Cider?
So it's a chai and a cider combined. Combining cinnamon and spices and apple cider flavor. So you can get that hot or iced. Of course, pumpkin spice chai, iced pumpkin cream matcha. There's a banana bread latte that's new apparently, and then the pumpkin spice cold brews and all the frappuccinos and all that stuff.
I'll be skipping the PSLs again. 50th season in a row.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
Rockfest music from Limp Bizkit was just a month and some change ago. We were watching Limp Bizkit. I was I'm reiterating, they didn't play their new one, Making Love to Morgan Wallen. I really thought they would. Didn't hear it. Kind of surprising. The Brewers start a 3-game series in New York City against the Mets tonight, 6:10 first pitch. Outfielder Garrett Mitchell showing some professionalism on Sunday, as I'm sure you heard. Carl Ravitch, along with several other ESPN personalities, getting cut recently.
Oh, yeah.
Firing a bunch of people, budget cuts, right? So Carl Ravitch, who's been calling games for ESPN and part of their programming for like the better part of 30-plus years, was doing the game between the Brewers and the Braves on Sunday, the Little League Classic. And they had Garrett Mitchell mic'd up along with Chris Sale doing an interview in the booth. And here's some of that audio.
Good luck with the baby, Garrett. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Carl, I wanted to say one thing to you real quick. I appreciate all that you've done. I know this is your last broadcast. I appreciate everything that you've done for this game. I've been listening to you for a long time, and it's a pleasure to share this last one with you.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to share with you, too. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, guys.
I do want to say before we get out of here, Carl, I got to say congratulations and thank you. Congratulations on playing some more golf, and thank you for the 30 years, man. You were a staple in my living room for 30 years watching ESPN. You made it fun to watch ESPN, so I just want to say thank you for everything you did.
Wow, that's nice.
You're one of the good ones. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so the first voice was Garrett Mitchell as he was jogging off the field, which is why you heard that kind of swooshing sound as the microphone that he was wearing was kind of rubbing up against his gear, but while wrapping up the Q&A, mostly with ESPN play-by-play announcer Carl Ravitch, Garrett Mitchell finishing up the conversation in the game against the Braves, paying tribute, calling his final MLB game with the network after being laid off back in July, saying, I know this is your last broadcast. I appreciate everything you've done for this game. I've been listening to you for a long time, and it's a pleasure to share this last one with you. Yeah, I don't know how old Garrett Mitchell is, but I'm guessing that Carl Ravitch has probably legitimately been part of his baseball journey his entire life. And then you heard Chris Sale at the end, who was in the booth with Ravitch, thanking him for everything over the course of his 30-plus years with ESPN, now getting laid off and going to have more time for some golf.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so. Take some time to himself, but a nice tribute and, a nod to his 30 years spent and some professionalism there, and it's nice.
Week 3 in the NFL preseason. The final week will kick off on Thursday with Pittsburgh at Buffalo. That game at 6 p.m. on the NFL Network. Pats will be in Cleveland taking on the Browns at 7 on Amazon Prime on Thursday night. And then San Fran and their horny-ass owner, Jed York, will be in Vegas, where prostitution is illegal, by the way. That'll be at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Rams will be at the Chargers at 9 on the NFL Network. Packers at home against the Cardinals on Friday at 7.
Go, Pack, go!
The Vikings are at Denver at 8 on Friday on the NFL Network. Detroit is at noon on Saturday on the NFL Network. And then Chicago is at Tennessee at 5 p.m. on Saturday afternoon on the NFL Network.
The Bears.
Deshaun Watson, who had a little bit of a problem with the fans booing him recently, is apparently going to be the quarterback going forward for the Cleveland Browns.
Man, I didn't have no reaction. I think the biggest thing is, I think you guys know too, and I think the whole world knows, it has nothing to do about the performance. It's a little bit personal than that. So I think that's it's a disrespectful thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep whatever I feel with me and my family internally on how I feel about that. And yeah, just move on.
But don't you think, Deshaun, that winning and playing better would eliminate some of that booing?
Last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. So does that have to do with, what does that have to do with anything about performance? When a person get hurt, especially for your own city, and they cheer.
Does that make you regret coming here?
No, I don't regret anything in my life. You know, I think the Lord put me through situations for a reason, so I don't regret anything at all. But, you know, I had different thoughts on how it was going to be, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, sometimes, you know, the tables turn. And I'm patient enough because I'm a child of God to, you know, wait for that time to change. So I'm not tripping on it.
So that was Deshaun Watson. This is the massage parlor guy. Remember, he was with the Texans and then all the massage, and he had his wiener out, and he was asking women and like forcing them to.
Like a lot of women
a lot
came
of it,
forward.
like a lot of it.
Yeah.
And so then they shipped his ass to Cleveland, where he got a ton of money to be the Browns quarterback. Then he got injured, as you heard there. And when he got injured, they cheered him because they hate his guts, and he stinks at football now. Not only that, he's a sexual assault fiend. The guy loves assaulting women. And then now out there on the preseason games, he's getting booed by the fans because he still stinks at football. And they asked him after the game this weekend, how do you feel about the booing? And that was his comments. Well, he walked those comments back a little bit earlier this week, yesterday, after he got the call to be the QB1 for the Cleveland Browns going forward. So he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Browns. And in his first news conference as the Browns starter yesterday, he apologized for his post-game comments on Saturday, in which he called the fans disrespectful for booing him.
He's not tripping, he said.
He's a child of God, though, Gene.
Yeah, I know. I heard that. He's not tripping. It's fine that my own team is booing me. Ooh, that must feel icky.
Well, it wasn't the fans, not the team.
Well, no, I know, but but your fans are booing you. That has to feel icky.
Yeah, but that's
welcome home.
That's the deal you make when you play professional sports and you're in front of people that pay a lot of money to come see you. If they don't like you, they have every right to boo you, whether you're good or not on the field. Winning, of course, cures a lot of those problems. You go out there and you sling it and you win, but yeah, he's definitely not doing that either. It's Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Got an email from Mark. Said, good morning. Can we get the day rolling with some Motionless in White? I can probably do that for you here in just a bit. Also going to get to what's new on New Release Tuesday. Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show will join us just after 8 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I had a near-kill experience. I almost killed somebody yesterday.
And this wasn't car accident related?
Almost killed somebody yesterday, Gene. Also, we have to talk about something.
Your motorcycle? No.
Something that relates to you that I found in the building.
All right. Like in a storage unit, or?
You never know where I found it, Gene. We'll talk about that a bit later.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene on your rock station.
Mark wanted to hear some In This Moment, or not In This Moment, Motionless in White. There we go. Try to get to that here momentarily. Doc sending in a picture of us from Oktoberfest like 30 years ago.
What?
Look how young the four of us were. Well, his shirt says Oktoberfest 09, so what would that be, 17 years ago?
Oh, my God.
I know, right? Look at my stupid chin strap beard thingy. Ugh, God. What was I thinking? Thanks, Doc. Appreciate that. Digging up old memories.
That might have been my first dirndl, I think, even.
Might have been. You still had ponytails and hope in your eyes.
Pigtails. Those are piggy tails, like this.
What's a ponytail? Oh, the ponytails on the back.
Yeah.
Whatever. You had your hair done.
Yeah, with pigtails.
Thanks, Doc. Appreciate that. New episode of Jeopardy Masters. Tonight on ABC, it's actually the 4th season premiere of Jeopardy Masters. The top-ranked contestants competing for a $500,000 grand prize on Jeopardy Masters.
Okay.
I'm assuming that dude who won, was it Jamie Ding?
So the very best of all of them are playing against each other again?
That's my assumption.
Okay. And then does the money go to charity or to them? I guess them,
that I think was the Celebrity Jeopardy when they go to charity. America's Got Talent. The quarterfinals are on tonight at 7 o'clock on NBC. New episode of Password on NBC tonight at 9. You've also got a new stand-up special called Stamptown on Netflix. Zach Zucker performing a raunchy vaudevillian humor as his alter ego, a clown character named Jack Tucker. So Zach Zucker is playing Jack Tucker in Stamptown on Netflix. I tried to watch. Doogie Howser's in it. I watched the trailer for it. You got to be into like skits and circus. It didn't interest me at all. Jelly Roll continuing to guest host for Kimmel this week. He's going to be talking to the Fonz, Henry Winkler tonight. Leanne Morgan and Stevie Nicks also joining Jelly Roll on Kimmel's program. It's New Release Tuesday, and you've got The Mandalorian and Grogu, rated PG-13 on DVD today, starring Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, Jeremy Allen White, Martin Scorsese does a voice as well in the movie. The Mandalorian and his apprentice have got to embark on an exciting new Star Wars adventure in The Mandalorian and Grogu.
I would imagine it's an adventure. Otherwise, it'd be pretty boring if they just sat around.
PG-13 on DVD today for New Release Tuesday. Also on DVD, if you didn't catch it in theaters or on a streaming service, the Disclosure Day film, rated PG-13, Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, Coleman Domingo, Aliens.
What did you steal?
Secrets. People have a right to know the truth.
This is a story about us. All of us.
Good morning, Kansas City.
Up against the most extraordinary event in human history.
What's happening to me? I'm frightened. I'm frightened out of my wits.
You don't need to be. You have someone else.
Daniel Kellner.
Who is this?
Do not go back to the house. They found you. I don't know who you are, but they're gonna kill you.
The human race cannot accept what we know. We need to stop it any way we can.
What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing?
Disclosure Day. Aliens. Yeah. It was okay. Also,
end was disappointing. I think.
Yeah, kind of.
The rest of it was good.
The Sheep Detectives also on DVD today,
yeah.
starring Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Regina Hall, Bella Ramsey, Bryan Cranston, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It's rated PG, and it's about a guy who reads to his sheep every night, but then he gets murdered, and then the sheep go on a investigative hunt.
I keep them well fed, well groomed.
At each date, I read out loud to them mysteries, whodunits.
I know who the killer was.
I like to pretend that they follow along, but they're only sheep.
Ah! Why would he stop there?
He was just about to say who the killer was.
This is torture. It was the maid, right?
When I
Wake up! Everybody wake up!
We found George on the grass, and he's not moving.
What?
Lily, tell us what to do.
Our shepherd was murdered. And we shall solve the crime.
I thought it looked fun.
Interesting premise.
Different. Yeah.
Sheep Detectives.
And I'm sure with kids, it's super fun.
Yeah, and it's rated PG, so it is appropriate. Also rated PG and on DVD today, The Breadwinner, Nate Bargatze, the stand-up comedian. Colin Jost, Mandy Moore, Will Forte, a supermom landing a Shark Tank deal. switching roles with her breadwinner husband. He's got to be a stay-at-home dad. I heard it was really bad.
Moms have a million things going on. That's why I invented the Star Minder.
I really think you might have something. I'm going to give you an offer.
Running a company's a 24/7 job. What about your husband? Could he take care of the kids?
Nate?
Wait a second. Is he here?
What? Yes.
Yeah, bring him in.
We're moving.
Yeah.
Here he comes.
What, are you kidding? Are you eating a donut?
No garbage can up there.
You can finish it.
No, wrong.
I'm out of here.
I'm out.
Your wife is having the moment of her life and you're stuffing your face? You're a bozo.
I thought, are you allowed to talk if you're already out?
Lori thinks I might have something, but are you sure you can handle this?
I'm the top salesman at the dealership. I think I can handle a month alone with the girls. You act like I'm gonna blow the house up.
Bye. Dad, the front door is locked.
There's a window in the back. We'll crawl through that.
The Breadwinner, rated PG on DVD for new release Tuesday. Also a movie called Power Ballad starring Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas. So Paul Rudd is like a washed-up musician who's doing weddings now, singing at weddings. Nick Jonas apparently takes one of his songs and turns it into a hit, and it's a heartwarming story according to the trailer, so it's not for me. Yeah, a washed-up wedding singer, Danny, a fading boy band star, bond over music and a late-night jam session. When Danny turns Rick's song into a hit, Rick sets out to reclaim the recognition he believes he deserves. Yeah, Power Ballad, rated R on DVD. Also, Marshals Season 1. That's the Yellowstone spinoff. Not sure if you saw this, but Bruce Campbell, who played Ash in the Evil Dead franchise for many movies and series, has officially called it quits.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Not necessarily for his career, but he's just not going to do Ash anymore. We actually just watched Evil Dead Burn over the last 2 nights, which was the latest Evil Dead movie. In this one, the guy dies in a car accident and looking for some kind of special knife that can kill the zombies or whatever the hell they are, the Evil Dead. And so then they all come to this house and they're fighting in each other, and it's just, it was okay. Evil Dead Burn, it was all right. The creepiest stuff happens at the beginning with the woman in the lake, but Ash, Bruce Campbell, telling fans apologies if this news seems new. Writing this on social media this past weekend. I tapped out after Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Just been doing it too long. He's done with it.
Yeah. He said Bruce Campbell has officially retired from any and all Ash Williams roles. Mostly the reasons were ability and interest in equal measure. I didn't want Ash to be compromised by declining skills, and as a borderline geezer, my interests have diverged.
Good. Bad. I'm the guy with the gun.
That being said, I'll always love Evil Dead to death, literally.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hail to the king, baby. Ash from the Evil Dead movies not going to be playing Ash anymore.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Kind of a bummer, but you see that coming, right? I mean, the guy's been doing it for the better part of 40-plus years, and sometimes it's okay to put things on the shelf.
He doesn't feel the character anymore. He's ready to say goodbye to it.
Also, the Blunt Man wasn't the only guy who got busted at the gathering of the Juggalos. I'm not sure if we saw this.
No, who else?
We talked about Blunt Man.
He's a vendor. He's been a longtime vendor at the gathering, but then they were advertising and he got busted by the DEA.
He paid for a cameo from one of the guys from ICP talking about coming by his campsite for all the stuff you need, which is a dead giveaway that the cops are going to come looking for you, right? If you keep it under wraps.
They did, yes.
ICP's Gathering of the Juggalos moved to a new location this year, and the police there were very excited for the opportunity to arrest a lot of people and get a bunch of drugs off the grounds. A local station there reported that deputies seized over 622 pounds of illegal drugs in just 2 days of the 4-day festival. The Camden County Sheriff's Office and the Mid-Missouri Task Force designing a coordinated effort to help curtail the drug use at the event, which moved to Mother Nature's Riverfront Retreat at Max Creek in Camden County, Missouri for the year's 26th edition of the festival. Yeah, the Juggalos and the ICP people may just try to, you know what they should do? Try to buy some land of your own.
I was just going to say, I can't. It sounds like moving to this location was a really bad idea because
anytime you're on public property and you're renting the space,
yes.
It just seems like the government and the police are going to be taken over. The sheriff there, a guy named Chris Edgar, confirming in a Facebook post on Thursday of last week the arrest of 4 people in relation to the drug activity, including Dennis Prattam, arrested on suspicion of first-degree drug trafficking and delivery of a controlled substance. Deputies reportedly seized 93 pounds of marijuana, 124 pounds of mushrooms, 135.5 grams of ketamine, 33 grams of ketamine/fentanyl, and 66.5 grams of MDMA/ecstasy during a roadside investigation, leading to this guy being arrested and held without bond. And he's only one of the many people that got arrested. So, yeah.
They were waiting for this weekend. They had everything in line, didn't they? Didn't they? As soon as they announced that they were going to be holding the festival there this summer, they're like,
you need cops to help direct
yeah.
traffic? We'd love to help you with that. Yeah. Whoop, whoop, Gene. Whoop, whoop. Those juggalos. My story about my near-kill experience is coming up.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
One of your favorite subjects, Gene.
Good. What's this?
Golden retrievers.
Do love me one. Is it fluffy? Is it yellow? Is it red?
It will be once it gets groomed because it was trapped under a landslide for 3 days before it got rescued. Did you hear about this?
No.
This is in the Philippines.
Obviously, it could breathe.
A golden retriever named Lexa, rescued after surviving for 3 days underneath a landslide in the Philippines. Dog went missing after the heavy rain caused the soil behind her family's home to collapse.
Mudslide.
But then 3 days later, they were searching for people, for anybody, and they heard some faint barking. Volunteers ended up having to use jackhammers.
Oh, my gosh. She was
to dig
really
their way
buried.
to this dog, eventually created a small enough opening, and Lexa, crawled to safety right out of the little hole. It sounds like some cement walls and stuff, that maybe retaining walls that were in the backyard.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Lexa, the 2-year-old golden in the Philippines, surviving an incredible 3 days beneath the wreckage of the landslide that destroyed much of her family's house. It stood near a river, and after days of heavy rain, the soil behind the property collapsed. The landslide sent mud, broken concrete, and other debris crashing through the home. The family was evacuated from the area, but Lexa was nowhere to be found, and they, of course, thought the worst of it all, that she was going to be dead. Then after 3 days of searching, they were able to find her. Faint barking they heard, probably on the last day of her life, right? If she hadn't been found, maybe that was going to be it. But beneath all that wreckage, she was alive and barking. Volunteers immediately began using jackhammers, shovels, and other tools, carefully chipping away at the rocks and debris surrounding the dog. And eventually, they got a small opening, and there she was, poked her little golden retriever head out.
Well, hello.
Right into the arms of the people who didn't give up. After 3 days of being buried underneath the rubble, she was finally free. Looks like she'll be all right, good to go. A little bit skinny, but probably going to have a couple of good meals and get a nice little grooming session, get all cleaned up, get all that mud and debris out of her.
And then she's probably going to rest for a while, take a big, long nap.
Maybe no more living on the river. Maybe none of that. Here's a really cool story about a guy and his paralyzed wife. They're originally from China. They live in America, and now they're retired. This guy retired, and he has now spent more than a decade traveling the country with his wife after she became partially paralyzed. And rather than spending time and the rest of their lives in hospitals and care centers and whatever, old folks' homes, whatever you want to call it, they decided, no, we're just going to get in the car, the camper, we're going to drive around, we're going to hit up all these locations. They decided back in 2014 they would rather travel the world together than spend time or the rest of their life in a hospital. He is the wife's full-time caregiver on the road, upgraded a camper van to make things more comfortable for her.
Of it, yeah. And
so
for
far,
him.
yeah, so far the couple has visited 31 out of 33 different regions in China. So they went back to the motherland where they're originally from to travel around China and see all the sights and do all the things. They were married out of high school, had a normal enough life, embarking on a long career in the military. The husband did, while the wife raised kids at home. But as they started to get older and got closer and closer to retirement, their chance for a dream road trip seemed to be coming true. She ended up having complications with diabetes, which left her partially paralyzed, and the thought of a road trip around China seemed to dissipate, but not so much. After agreeing they would rather die on the road than in a hospital bed, the couple set out in their car across China in 2014. One of their daughters, initially objecting due to the mom's medical needs. But the time away from the hospital gradually brought her back to life.
Yeah. They've been
years
doing a long
later,
time now.
Mr. Liu said their time continuously exploring the Middle Kingdom has made his wife 100 times more spirited.
Well, he's lucky that he can do it, that he's strong enough to be able to be her sole caretaker on the road like that, out of a camper or a van, and able to, do
Which
everything.
Which is not comfortable living,
Everything they need.
Over a decade later, she has avoided muscle and joint atrophy despite being wheelchair bound from paralysis on her left side. She's maintained good coordination, can communicate largely as she has done before. Solid food, however, becoming a slightly greater challenge, but a decade and some change on the road, traveling around the countryside, seeing all the things they wanted to do and living their dream, and him becoming her full-time caretaker. Pretty cool story. Around here, we know people like to have farm stands. A lot of farms will put out eggs and vegetables and maybe some baked goods.
This time of year, you're going to find some melons and tomatoes and onions.
A lot of times, those farm stands are hand-built.
Yeah.
Little
labor of love for the family.
Of some sort.
Leave some cash, take the eggs, leave some money.
Sort of a goodwill opportunity for you, like an exchange of goods and services and all that stuff. But there's always the bad element out there that you got to watch out for.
She'd been on me for a while to make this. I look up and it's not there. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I had a little shock, and I was like, there's no way somebody would have taken this.
He's like, the stand's gone, and I jumped out of bed, and I was like, what?
Or something like that, where it's not a big deal to us, is a huge deal to them.
I was so amazed that someone we didn't even know would offer something like that.
Something we could do just to show people that people still care.
I was so shocked. It brought tears to my eyes.
A family in Rhode Island very excited about their new farm stand. They called it Kay's Bake Stand. The owner spent months building this stand for his wife so she could sell her homemade sourdough bread, but the stand ended up getting stolen on the very first day. The big stand, the big wooden stand they built.
They just came and took the whole stand.
Yes, they took the whole entire thing. Kay's Bake Stand. They just took the whole effing thing right out of the driveway.
Not just the bread and the money. They took the whole stand.
Yes. And, disappointing for the wife, right? I was looking forward to selling my sourdough, but then the husband, who spent all his time and money and effort and a labor of love for his wife building this thing, and very proud of it, painted it, and a sign and a lockbox for the money and all that stuff. Well, she posted about it online, and
Somebody
local
saw it.
construction company came to the rescue. They used the original blueprints that the husband drew up
they made a
and
replica.
recreated the exact same stands and built it for free for the woman and the guy. Replacement so similar to the original stand, the woman, of course, brought to tears.
Yeah.
Happy
that's
tears
nice.
this time. But
that's nice. So
yeah.
a replica. They built a replica. You would think that whoever is going to, what are you doing with that? You're also selling sourdough?
Apparently.
And you...
Well, you just take the name, you take the little sign off that has the name on it, and you replace it with your own. But maybe, I don't know, maybe the community's small enough you can drive around and
That's
maybe
what I'm saying.
See one that looks like it if you want to
covet another woman's farm stand.
Try and chase this lady down. Who steals a bake sale sign? Honestly. Let's see. Bad news, happy music. Grant Bilse back from his trip. We'll talk to him just after 8 a.m. And in just about 4 minutes, a near-kill experience. All the details on that next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Start your day with Rock Mornings.
All right.
Well, you said that this happened yesterday, and it was a near death experience for somebody else.
I'm going to explain it in full detail.
But I know you didn't go very many places yesterday.
I got done mowing the lawn, showered, cleaned up, let the dog out, put her in her kennel, and then I had to come downtown and go to the bank. I had to make a deposit. I am driving eastbound on Jackson Street.
Okay.
I'm coming down Jackson Street. Now, if you live in La Crosse, you can visualize this. So
it's a busy road.
It is.
Just one way each direction. It's not a full, 2-lane, 4-lane.
1:15, 1:30 in the afternoon, somewhere around there. I get to the intersection of Jackson and 7th Street where there is a stoplight. It is red.
Regular road, going both directions, stoplight. It's not a 4-lane highway or anything like that.
No. I stop. I come to a complete stop. The light is red.
Not a roundabout red light.
No. Turns green. I'm the lead vehicle. I'm in front.
Yes.
I step on the gas. The speed limit's 25 miles per hour on that road.
Pedestrian, bicyclist?
Now, at 1:30 in the afternoon, 1:15-ish, there's a lot more cars than there are normally when I'm coming to work at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Of course.
A lot more people, a lot more activity.
Yes.
So I'm still doing the speed limit, 25 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I get to just about 5th Street. So now I'm 2 blocks ahead. And I just Googled it. The maximum speed for an electronic bike or an electric bicycle, not an e-scooter or like a one-wheel or whatever these things are.
You mean like a bike?
This is a bicycle that had a full power, like the entire, I saw it clear as day.
30 miles an hour, maybe?
20 to 28 miles per hour. And this guy had to have been going the full clip. I couldn't believe how fast he was coming. He didn't stop at the intersection of 5th Street where he has a stop sign. By law.
He's crossing or he's going the same direction as you?
I don't know if he was trying to go straight across and cut through Jackson on 5th Street to go right across, one side of 5th to the other, or if he was actually going to turn. But as I am getting right towards 5th Street, this a-hole on an electric bicycle, not stopping at all. I just barely caught him as I was about to get to the intersection, and I slammed on the brakes. He comes around the corner. He quickly turned, and he only had one hand on the handlebars. He wasn't even holding on with both hands. So he's completely haphazardly riding this thing, going at maximum speed, coming right into the intersection where traffic is going back, and I wasn't even the only car.
I was just going to say, was there somebody coming the other direction?
Yes, this guy could have got pancaked between the two of us. He could have got pinballed. There was also a vehicle behind me, right? So I quickly looked up as I'm slamming on the brakes, hoping I'm not going to get destroyed. And then finally I come to a stop, and this guy just kind of zooms around, then stops in front of me in the middle of the road.
Stop finally.
Right. I mean, he's probably, 40, 50 yards in front of me because he was going so effing fast. And he had to put his other hand up on the handlebars so he could, come to a complete stop. And then he just kind of loops around and comes back behind me towards the intersection because he dropped something. He made no attempt to, hey, thanks for not killing me. No, stopping and looking. He made no eye contact with me whatsoever. Couldn't believe it.
Or the car coming the other direction because there was one the other that had to slam on their brakes?
They didn't slam on their brakes. They kept going. So he managed to stay in my lane. But I couldn't believe it. I mean, this complete a-hole. Driving like a friggin' maniac on an electric bicycle, almost got pancaked, and I barely stopped in time. And we just had right here in town, we had an incident where a guy ran through a stop sign and killed a woman on a bicycle, right? And this guy's now in court. That could have been me. All because this guy didn't pay attention and stop at the stop sign. I almost killed this guy. And I couldn't believe it.
I know this wasn't a child. This was a person.
This was a grown-ass human being.
Right. But I do know that there are some school districts across the country that are having these discussions about e-bikes for small riders and, not allowing them to be ridden to school and to be on campus for their students or their riders because of some safety issues. So a discussion being had with, children anyway, and whether that's safe and the riding to school and keeping them there and monitoring all of that. So there are some school districts that are having those discussions about kiddos anyway.
Yeah, and it felt like to me, the way that I've envisioned it, it seemed like he thought if he was going fast enough, he could quickly just dart right across.
Was it a yellow?
Well, look, no, there's no light. There's no light there. It's a stop sign.
It was
the stoplight is at 7th and Jackson. I was at the intersection of 5th and Jackson where there are stop signs on 5th Street before you can turn on to Jackson, whether you're going this way or that way. So I had the right of way until 4th Street where there was another set of lights, and then you could turn right and come downtown. So I'm just going at the speed limit, 20, 25, somewhere around there, and this a-hole comes darting out in front of me on his stupid electronic bicycle.
Didn't seem out of control?
No, it wasn't there was a malfunction. No. I mean, again, he was just he had something in one arm, and he was kind of controlling it with the one hand.
To-go food? Who was it to-go?
I have no idea what he was doing, but I think what he thought he could do was just quickly go through the intersection. He's probably done it multiple times in the past and just skip the stop sign. And, again, I'm just doing the speed limit, minding my own business, and if I hadn't stomped on the brakes, I probably would have killed this guy.
Yeah, Class 1 and 2 bikes can reach 20 miles an hour, while the Class 3, that's what you were talking about, Brian.
And that's not me bitching about the bikes. It's just this,
that person in particular, 28 miles an hour.
This mentality that people have with these bicycles. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but the people that ride e-scooters and bikes, they seem to be completely oblivious to the laws.
Like was he with a helmet?
No helmet, just his head. Would have been, I would have ran over it like a watermelon and popped it.
Yeah. Ride defensively and wear a helmet, they say, obviously, and supervise youth. That's the big thing, is that this was a grown person, but in generally more experienced folks and riders understand traffic a little bit better than kids are going to be, when they're
Well, you would think they would, but no, not this guy.
Yes.
And again, normally in a situation like that where someone's acting a fool and being an idiot, I would just lean out the window and have at it. I'd lose my bleep.
You were late, though, right?
I wasn't late. I was in no hurry. I wasn't going. I was just going to the bank to deposit some money. I wasn't really doing anything. I had no agenda. But I just was so aghast. I was so taken aback by the frivolous nature of this guy's riding. I couldn't believe it. As a guy who rides a motorcycle, man, look, I like to have fun and be on the bike and go out there and go around corners and all that. But at the same time, you got to pay attention to, because one wrong move and bam, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's all it takes, especially when you're riding with no helmet. And that thing, it wasn't even about his speed. It was about the fact that he just came right out into the intersection.
Well, they do, health organizations, by the way, some emergency departments, reporting spikes of 300%.
Yeah, well, that's because people are idiots.
Especially among young riders. So be careful. We've got some coworkers, her and her husband ride every weekend, and I'm always jealous because they go really cool places and they take trails and they, because they'll get from here to there and hey, we went, 30 miles from here. And
There's just something about these people that ride bikes and e-bikes and electronic scooter. They get on the road and they don't think the laws apply to them, or that they're going to be safe, or that we are so... it's it's our responsibility, none of theirs, right?
Whoa.
Because that's kind of how it is, right? If I pancake that guy, then I'm the dude in court having to explain what happened, right? And then I got to try to track down video of this guy riding like a maniac.
Well, there's irresponsible all of the kinds of
I get that. I'm just saying that it seems like these people will go out there on a whim and don't have any kind of...
I'm jealous of my coworker and her husband. They ride all the time. And like I said, they go really cool places.
My near-kill experience, Gene. Almost killed this guy.
Lack of gear. Sounds like he needs some safety gear,
sounds like he needs a friggin' brain in his head. Take your head out of your ass and use it and stop at the stop sign. Look, I get it, man. I like to go out and have fun and be in my bike and my truck and drive fast and all that stuff. But, man, you got to come to a stop at a stop sign. You can't just go right across traffic.
That is a traffic rule, yes.
Unbelievable.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find the daily podcast at rockmornings.com.
Chicago staying in it. Natasha Clout. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena. After Natasha Cloud got that bucket, she wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud voicing her opinion as well. Kanter was just escorted out.
We heard that audio yesterday from the WNBA game that Enes Kanter Freedom attended.
He got kicked out, didn't he?
Wearing a shirt about women and then getting kicked out after getting into it with another player. But the WNBA so far, the W, as they like to call it, has not announced any plans to prevent him from entering any future games after he was ejected from Wintrust Arena in Chicago on Sunday. Multiple sources, however, say that the former NBA player will not be eligible to play in the W. Sources around the league say that Enes Kanter Freedom, along with fellow former NBA player Royce White, are no longer eligible or won't be eligible to play in the WNBA after they both declared themselves women and eligible for the draft. Brew Crew off yesterday. What?
Complicated.
Brew Crew off yesterday. They're in New York tonight to take on the Mets. First of 3 against the Mets. 6:10 first pitch. Week 3 in the NFL preseason, the final week. Kicks off on Thursday. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. The Packers are at home against the Cardinals on Friday at 7 p.m. I've already got 7 offers for free tickets to that game. Nobody likes to go to that third preseason game. The SEC yesterday issuing a statement emphasizing their belief that athletes who choose to leave college athletics and sign professional contracts, quote, should not then be permitted to return to college competition. We just talked about this one player yesterday who didn't make it in the NFL, but now has got a deal in place to return to LSU.
So who's saying this?
The SEC.
Okay.
The SEC. College athletes, not former professional athletes, have been at the heart of the Southeastern Conference. Individuals who choose to leave college athletics, sign professional playing contracts, and compete professionally should not then be permitted to return to college competition. They obviously, this is going to get messy and mucky, and it's going to be a problem because you're going to have more of this. Here's how you look at it, right? Think of it this way. So let's just assume, right? So you're a 18-year-old kid. You're coming out of high school. You're one of the top prospects in the world, in the country, right? You go to college. You maybe play a year or two. You've got 3 or 4 or 5 years of eligibility left based on the rules, the NCAA rules. But you're so good and you don't want to get injured in college that you're going to come out fast, right? You're going to leave because they do this, right? They want to get into the league. They want to make more money. They want to have more benefits.
Well, you have the potential.
All that stuff, right? You've got the ability to do that, right?
You could get a contract and you could move on to
or you think you could, right?
And you get and
let's say you declare for the draft. Maybe you get drafted by a team, but you don't get picked up.
So you get picked up and cut? Is that,
right, well, that's what I mean. If you get drafted, right, then you're on the team, you go practice, but then maybe you don't make the 53-man roster, right? Then you've got to get, and we've heard these stories, right? Guys go and they get jobs working at supermarkets. Mm-hmm. Kurt Warner, right? Perfect example. And that was a billion years ago. Yes. But so you get these guys who are, and that was a different situation in terms of where he was collegiately and in his professional career. But it's just one of these things where okay, so now I was making all this NIL money in college, right? I'm not making that anymore because I'm not in college. I'm not making NFL money because I'm not signed to a team. And
now
I'm
doing nothing, right? I'm kind of in this limbo in between, right. And why can't I go backwards? And I
still have years of eligibility. That's where the athletes are saying, right? And I think what they're saying is that I've got all this time left on my eligibility. Why can't I go back if I'm not going to play professionally? I tried to, but it didn't work out. So
the colleges have to decide if you split with us, if you break up with us and try it in the big leagues and it doesn't work for whatever reason and you're uninjured and you want to come back, we're not taking you because you broke up with us.
The SEC doesn't want that, but it's happening, right? We're seeing it already. So it's going to, again, be interesting to see how that all fleshes out. Klay Thompson signing a deal with the Miami Heat, going to join Giannis down there. Waited patiently for weeks to see if they would get a chance to add the sharpshooter to their reworked roster. Thompson, who's number 4 on the NBA's all-time three-pointers made list, cleared waivers on Sunday afternoon and wasted very little time finalizing a 2-year deal with the Heat. Apparently, it's for $13 million, includes a player option in the second season. So Klay Thompson going to Miami, taking his talents to South Beach. Also, in college football, this probably happens more often than not, but it's still very interesting. The executive director of Ole Miss's NIL Collective, not quite sure what that person has to do with all this, but they said that the FBI came in and searched the Rebels football office for recording devices after former coach Lane Kiffin left for the SEC rival LSU following the 2025 regular season.
So Lane, he was wiretapping? He was spying on it?
They're saying that Lane Kiffin, who was coaching Ole Miss and then left to coach LSU, left behind some recording devices that would then send, whatever was getting recorded to his phone so he'd have the jump on these guys when they played him the next season. Knew he was going to LSU and left the recording devices in his old office so that when they moved the new guy in.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Walker Jones, who co-founded the Grove Collective, was recently on a podcast and said that the FBI searched for bugs in the football offices at the Manning Center once Lane Kiffin left for LSU after guiding the Ole Miss Rebels to an 11-1 record in the regular season in their first college football playoff berth. High treason. Interesting. Again, I'm sure that stuff like that happens on a much more regular basis, but it's still funny to hear those stories.
Sure is. Call the FBI.
Your text.
Hot Mike.
A lot of texts. We're going to get to your text here, responding to my near-kill experience We'll get to those next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Weekdays, 6 to 9.
Ray texting in. Ray says, fortunately, I've never had a situation with the e-bikes, but a few close calls with people looking at their phones. I think we've all suffered through that.
Oh, yes, of course.
And I think, look, I think we're all guilty of looking at our phones, right? We all do it. I'm not any better than anybody else. I will say that I do watch people who are driving around with the phone like this in front of their face. I'll occasionally look down at it, maybe send a real quick text or something, but I try not to have
not when I'm moving.
Up like that. I mean, you see people and they're not even holding on to the steering wheel.
No, it's terrifying.
It's crazy. So that's why I don't, that's why I now have both a dash cam and a rear cam, because I absolutely do not trust other drivers and riders. Also, if mopeds need to be registered to be on the roads, why not these bikes and scooters? Happy to hear you didn't pancake them. You just bought your truck. Be safe and have a great day.
Yeah, this is the third one.
Well, look, I wouldn't have had to total it out. That's for sure. I would have had some probably hair and teeth underneath the grill, but yeah, this is no different than a guy on a motorcycle or a moped or a car. I mean, this is just another example of people not paying attention. I think these bikes and e-bikes and scooters and all those things that that people are riding, because you don't need a license for any of that stuff, right? Much like a moped, you don't need a license for a moped. You do need to register and have a plate on it. It doesn't make you a safe rider, but I think these people just have this sort of fascination with these things, and they just don't think that drivers they just think drivers are going to be precautious enough that they can get away with whatever they want.
They're not inherently any more dangerous, but between high speeds and the heavier weight of the bicycle can lead to more. I
literally would have killed the guy. I wasn't even going that fast. I was doing the speed limit, 25 miles an hour. But he was coming out so quick out of that intersection, trying to speed across or whatever the hell he was doing, not paying attention, didn't stop, didn't even slow down. I think he was trying to gun it through the intersection, thinking, I'll make it. And then he saw me coming, and he quickly decided, I'm not going to make it. And thank God I slammed on the brakes, because I would have killed the guy.
My neighbor down the block has one, and she goes for rides all the time. But she did tell me that because, they're a little bit heavier than a standard bike, it takes a little bit to get used to reaction time as far as like stopping, or
they don't get up and go as quickly.
Corners, or, managing it safely. So.
Got a text from Seth. We live on an intersection in West Salem. We watch 10 to 15-year-old children fly through the intersection all the time without looking. Not that we want to see it. We are waiting for the day when one gets hit. You should be required to know the rules of the road to ride an e-bike.
Well, that's why we were talking about vulnerable riders, lacking maybe the maturity or even the physical strength and the reaction skills to be able to control and safely manage what's happening at that rate of speed. Especially if it's the class 3 that can go up to 30 miles an hour, essentially.
Got a text from someone, not quite sure who it is. My brother was T-boned by an electric bike. The bike rider ran a stop sign. He was only given a ticket for running a stop sign. My brother was responsible for the damages on his own car. The only way to get payment was to go through small claims court. Those bikes should require some sort of insurance. Yeah, look, they're somewhat newish, so these changes are probably going to be coming at some point, hopefully, where there might be some form of registration that's required, or maybe some sort of training that needs to take place, because I don't know what's going on, but these people on the e-bikes, they don't seem to want to pay attention to anything.
And like you were just saying, the maybe lack of maturity, and I think the parents don't maybe understand completely the dangers and requiring helmets and protection and that they could go that fast. 28 miles an hour is fast.
Well, and you think you're a part of traffic. Those things are hardly visible.
Yes, I was just going to say you've got to stay visible.
You don't they're usually all black.
Yes.
They blend in. Like if someone's in front of me and then there's an e-bike in front of them, there's a good chance if it's a pickup or a crossover or some vehicle like that, I'm not going to know that guy's there. I might not have any idea. And the next thing you know, you pull out to go around a guy because he's going too slow and you have no idea what's going on. Next thing you know, there's an e-bike in front of you and you can't even see it. I got a text from Roxy in the 715. said, I deliver parts to La Crosse every day, and I see a lot of bicyclists not ever stopping at stop signs or obeying any other laws. For some reason, they think they own the roads.
Yeah, stay visible with brighter clothing, they suggest as well, Brian, as well as working lights if you're riding it at dawn or dusk or any of that kind of, especially now that it's getting light earlier or in the morning. Maybe they're riding it to school and it's a little bit dark out, so be careful as well.
Ned, with a text, said, I am sick of these dill holes on e-bikes. No rules apply to them, or so they think. Thank you, Ned. Yeah, I think there's just this sort of like mental release. You get on this thing and it goes so quick. It's different than riding a bike. There's no effort involved, so you just sort of think that you're free and you can do whatever you want and that the rules don't apply because you're kind of on a bike, but you're not really on a bike. You're on a motorized vehicle. Mm-hmm. And if you're riding on the road, then all of these signs apply to you just like they apply to me.
Yeah, and, like we were saying, just like there are for mopeds and scooters and motorcycles and all of those kinds of things, there's safe riders. And like I said, my neighbor's going out every day, and I trust that she's doing the right thing. But by the way, the Consumer Protection Safety Commission doesn't advise children under 12 at all.
Well, we talked about this yesterday, the Consumer Products Review. They don't recommend any of these e-scooters. They say they're all too dangerous. They go
more than 10 miles an hour. If it goes less than 10, they're
you're talking about a power wheel, essentially, in the neighborhood, right? You're doing it in the cul-de-sac. You're not out riding on the streets with these things.
If it's 20, 30 miles an hour, then it's part of this new wave of e-bikes.
Got another text, this one from Ryan. He said, that's why I don't like people who ride bikes. They think traffic rules don't apply to them. The city should probably just ban all bikes. LOL. Thanks, Ryan. I will say that it feels like people on bicycles, like a regular ass 10-speed mountain bike, whatever that is, as much as I don't enjoy sharing the road with them because I think it's just a recipe for disaster, they seem to be a little bit more aware of vehicles because they know. They've been on the roads for a long, long time.
Yes.
And they're aware of the dangers.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying they're great people or that they ride responsibly. But it feels like they've been doing it long enough that they sort of get the gist of it. These people on the e-bikes, because they're so new, I think they just completely throw caution to the wind and don't give a rat's ass.
Or they just aren't mature enough to completely understand the dangers hidden within that.
Got a text from Jim who said a 10-year-old girl in our neighborhood wrecked her e-scooter. It was not good. Yeah, again, I would have literally ran this guy over and probably killed him if I had not stopped on a dime yesterday and slammed on the brakes. Came barreling out in front of me at the corner of 5th and J Streets, or not J, but 5th and Jackson. Mm-hmm. I had just gone through the stoplight at the intersection of 7th and Jackson. It turned green. I was just getting up to full speed at about 20, 25 miles per hour, and he comes barreling out through the stop sign, didn't stop, didn't slow down, didn't do anything, completely right in front of my truck.
That's not being a defensive rider at all. And by the way, also, this kind of should go without saying, Brian, but apparently also earbuds in or while riding those. Right. So now you're talking about...
Now you're not listening, you're not hearing cars,
Yeah.
No audio cues about where cars are.
Right, you're adding a whole nother level of danger to it if you can't.
I was so flabbergasted by the whole scene. I couldn't believe it because normally, right, I watch people drive stupidly and I just yell at them because I'm angry and I'm like, "What are you doing?" But this guy, I couldn't believe it. I just was like, dude, you literally almost died. And then you wheeled around like it was no big deal. And just was more concerned with picking up whatever it was that he dropped in the intersection.
Growing in popularity, but doesn't mean they're right for everyone.
Got a text from my guy, the Gunny. He said, these bike nerds should stay in the effing stupid bike lanes that are wasting a ton of La Crosse street space.
Well, in that regard, he didn't. It sounds like this was just a person who wasn't going to be responsible in any way, not necessarily taking it seriously.
Also got a text from Michael who said, good morning, Brian and Gene. Half of the e-bike riders are drunk drivers who can't get a driver's license. Doesn't that give you the warm, fuzzy feelings? Yeah. I don't know what was going on with this guy. I think it was just irresponsible riding, and he thought he could just go through the intersection because he's probably done it a million times when there isn't a lot of traffic, and then all of a sudden here comes big white pickup truck guy, and next thing you know, you're a dead pancake in the middle of the road. You're a squirrel.
Well, like I said, my neighbor and we have a coworker and her husband. They ride them all the time and have a lot of fun. And I'm always like, oh, that looks like so much fun. They can get so far.
There's also like that little tiny itty bitty ember inside of me that's like, you know what? F him. I should have just ran his ass over because people need to learn their lesson. But what good does that do? Then next thing you know,
and sounds like
getting
just dangerous.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Pay attention, dude. Stop at the stop sign. Don't be an a-hole. Unbelievable. My near kill experience yesterday. Also got a text from Jake who said, back to the cell phone thing. When I lived in Florida, I would often see this one guy reading a book while driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic at 45 plus.
Well, there's that comedian that talks about that where it's, I'm not recommending any of this, but it made me laugh out loud when he was talking about, being on your phone. And obviously it's a distraction and it's dangerous and very, very much so. But he's like, if the officer pulls you up, I was writing in cursive. Is there any... I was writing a letter in cursive. Can I do that behind the wheel? No, of course not.
Rockmornings.com, our contact info. If you want to weigh in on my near-kill experience yesterday where I almost pancaked a guy on an e-bike who darted out in front of me at full speed and then made no attempts to apologize or acknowledge the fact that I saved his life by slamming on my brakes. Didn't even look at me. Just wheeled back around and grabbed whatever it was he dropped in the intersection. It's classy.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. Find them online at rockmornings.com.
8:15-ish on Tuesdays. We're joined by the one and only host of the Wisco Sports Show. That, of course, is Grant Bilse. You can hear his program weekday afternoons from 4 until 6 on stations all across Wisconsin, including WKTY in La Crosse and Sports Talk 105.1 in Eau Claire. Back from vacation. Grant Bilse, how are you doing? How was your vacay?
It was great. Spent some time with friends, lots of time outside, drank some beers, went fishing. But I missed chatting with you guys last Tuesday. I do really look forward to talking with you both.
Well, I'm glad you didn't miss this week because we had an all-timer yesterday pop up. I was telling Gene this morning that when I started listening in the afternoon to 98.5, the Sports Hub out of Boston, the story was that he was arrested for disorderly conduct with some sort of burglary tools or some sort of tools involved in larceny or something along those lines. And then about an hour later, it was, the owner of the 49ers, a downright billionaire, was arrested in a prostitution sting at a trailer park in Ohio trying to get $140 worth of sex.
So there's a bunch of layers to this. The criminal tools thing we're overlooking. I guess you can't just drive around with a crowbar in your trunk. Like I brought this up on my show. I thought this was a free country. What do you mean?
Is that the criminal tools, the crowbar?
I Googled criminal tools, and that seemed to be tools that you would use in illegal activity, but how is that proven? So you're telling me, what if I want a bolt cutters in my trunk? I can't just drive around with that?
The other thing is it's a billionaire owner of an NFL team driving himself around in a Ford Taurus or a Topaz, a Mercury Sable from 1987, and he's got a crowbar in the back looking for some yum-yum.
He's reportedly worth $500 million, but the family fortune is believed to be more like $8.5 billion.
Look, you're not the owner of an NFL team unless you have billions, right? Billions. You're not a millions, you're a billion.
But he did. He replied to an advertisement and then went to arrange to have sexual activity with
How do you not know?
A female for
You're in Ohio, dude.
$40.
Trailer park in Ohio, you got to know. Even I would know.
Wheat Hill mobile home community, Brian. Wheat Hill mobile home community. Grant, what's the latest on this?
2 layers to this that I love. First is completely separate from football. First is just the story of a very rich man who's from Youngstown, Ohio, which is about 30 minutes away from East Palestine, which is where he's caught. The story of a billionaire from Ohio who now lives in California, who could fly anywhere and pay for any sort of services that he would want from anyone that he would want, right?
He could also go somewhere where it's completely legal.
Yes, exactly.
And the other thing I said to Gene was, we said this off air, there's got to be some sort of syndicate or some sort of organization that these billionaires all know about, whether we like it or not, or whether we think it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it exists. That they have access to women of the night who are willing to give up their services in exchange for money. And this guy would rather go to some trailer park in Ohio for $140 worth.
That's why I love
it. It felt like home, right?
Exactly. Because don't we all, Simpson, Gene, don't we all?
Yes.
We have that thing that pulls us home. And it turns out, and this story, well, part of the reason I love this story is it's proof that even when you're a billionaire who owns an NFL team, you still don't lose that thing. He's still on some level just like us. So I love that. I also love that this NFL team, and Simpson, you're a Patriots fan, you can relate to this. I think NFL teams owned by actual people are much more interesting. I don't want my sports team owned by some faceless conglomerate of private equity investments. I want a person who might be a little weird. Or perverted, or we talk about the human element in sports. We want to keep the human element. I think that is true for ownership, too. Jerry Jones is interesting. Jed York, Robert Kraft. These people are interesting. And when we lose that from sports, and I know John Henry, the Red Sox owner, has the Fenway Sports Group. I don't want my team owned by some group, by some shadow collection of people.
I will say in his case, though, you go high enough in that group, and it's John Henry, right? It doesn't matter who the underlings are. That's one case. It doesn't necessarily apply. It's sort of like the Celtics with Chisholm, right? Of course, you go high enough, and there's a guy. There's always a guy, a rich white guy at the top. Whether you like that phrase or not, that's the truth of the matter. You always go high enough, and there's some rich white guy at the top that's pulling all the levers, the man behind the curtain. And I agree with you, right? There's a little bit of personality. There's a panache thing going on there. But this is what you're going to get when you're back home and you're like, hey, maybe he was drinking with his boys from college, right? Did he go to college in Youngstown, where he's from?
I don't know, but his fines that he paid to, leave and get out of there to go home, we get out of jail, were $1,100, right? This is because...
my thought is that maybe he was back home, right? He's in town, he's visiting family or something like that, and he catches up with one of his guys from college. Maybe they had too many beers, and he's like, you know who's over there? Sally, that we used to go to high school with. Oh, really?
No.
And he's like, there's my chance, $140.
Divorced in May, right? Isn't that it?
I don't think that has much to do with it.
Separated from his wife, and now he's back home again.
It's the Blackout Wednesday kind of thing where kids go off to college and they're starting their own life. But you know what? That Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they come home and who's around? All the girls, all the guys from my high school. There's something that pulls us home. They say you can't go home again. I disagree. I think this is evidence that you can. You can at least try.
And I think also, Gene likes to bring up the divorce. I think this just has to do with a guy who is getting a divorce, realizes he's going to lose a bunch of his money, and doesn't want to try to develop any kind of relationship, right? Wants something very basic and simple, and you understand the process, and I'm in, I'm out, I'm over,
I'm in, I'm out. Yeah. And also, maybe if you want to frame it this way, NFL owners are really cheap. These guys are such cheapskates. They're so cheap, all of them. So is there an angle if you wanted to complain if I was a Niners owner? Oh, of course, Jed York's only willing to pay $140. That's an angle that could also exist. It's such a great story. It seems victimless. I don't think we're making light of it. It doesn't seem like there are any victims here. Wow. Interestingly enough, the town of East Palestine is where that train derailed and there was that huge chemical accident a couple years ago, which is... So that part of the town isn't funny, but it's a victimless enough crime, and I think it's something that I'm not saying that I always want sports owners getting in trouble, but I like when we get stories like this because it reminds me that, yes, even the people who are worth $5-10 billion and own one of these NFL teams, they're dopes and they're people just like you and me.
Yeah, I mean, you got Kraft going to the Orchids of Asia. You've got Jed York going to some trailer park. You got Jerry Jones talking about glory holes. I mean, these guys are lighting it up, man. So I don't know. Grant, one more week of preseason NFL action before final cuts. Are you looking for anything in the Week 3 matchup for the Packers against Atlanta?
Yeah, I think the right guard job is still very much up for grabs. So they know who the left tackle is going to be. That's Jordan Morgan. Zach Bacobiweli just changed his name, going to be the right tackle. It looks like Sean Ryan's going to be the center, and Aaron Banks is going to be the left guard. Now, left guard can be a little shaky because Aaron Banks gets hurt a lot, but let's just pretend he's going to be healthy and he'll be the left guard. I think right guard is wide open, and they really seem to like Jacob Monk, who they drafted a couple of years ago. I could see him winning that job. Jagger Burton they just drafted. He's been training at center probably as the backup, but he could win that job. Or they could rotate guys. So, Packers fans, if you're watching for a specific position battle and not like the fifth wide receiver or the fourth safety, like someone who could be potentially starting every week and protecting your franchise quarterback, Jordan Love, the right tackle job is a position to watch. I think it's very much in play. I'm also continuously watching the kicker. That's been very juicy. He's been excellent. He's hit some real bombs in these preseason games. He's been perfect, knock on wood. Hopefully that continues. So I would say right guard, kicker, and then bottom of the roster, certain position spots. You're looking for a young pass rusher, defensive lineman to kind of pop because they're not going to have Micah Parsons back right away. But I would say my priority right now is right guard.
Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show each and every Tuesday at about 8:15. A couple more questions, sports-related ones. Brewers, 30 games or so left. They're obviously still doing the damn thing. They're going to New York to face the Mets. Is anybody in danger of getting drop-kicked from the second row here, or are we going to be safe in New York?
What am I missing a reference? What happened?
Oh, you didn't see the Mets brawl between the White Sox and the Mets fans?
Oh, I saw. Well, there's been a lot of Chicago fans fighting in the last.
Well, there was the Cubs and White Sox one, but then most recently was the Mets and White Sox, where the guy jumped from several rows above and kind of drop kicked this guy 2 or 3 rows below him. You haven't seen that one, apparently?
Here, so I saw White Sox fans fighting. I didn't see that it was with Mets fans. Here's the silver lining, Bruce fans. I think Mets fans have mostly tuned out. I don't think they're too bought in to the season right now. So if you're ever gonna involve yourself or interact with an opposing fan base, Mets fans right now would probably be a good. I just think they're so beaten down. I messaged a guy who covers the Mets yesterday, who I kind of know, like a Twitter internet friend. I'm like, hey, might be fun if you have time this week, I'd love to have you on. He's like, I didn't even know they were playing the Brewers, dude. I'm so checked out. This Mets team is so terrible. So if that's any indication, Brewers fans should be safe.
All right, should be an okay week for the Brewer fans there in New York City. Watch out for pizza rats. I did want to talk about the Badgers, but we can save that for next Tuesday because they don't play till next Sunday. But I did want to bring up the big thing right now with players that don't make the NFL but then go back to college. This is going to become kind of the next hot topic for professional athletes and the NCAA and the NILs and all this stuff. We just saw a football player who didn't make it with the Browns that's going back to LSU, and the SEC issuing a statement yesterday. What's your take on all this stuff with the college, the reverse of the college thing?
Of course it's happening. Of course kids are going into the NFL realizing they might not have a roster spot or they might not make as much money as they would in college, so they're going back. Of course they're doing it because we've created not we. I was not involved. I hate this. I wish kids still made zero money. I wish they still were poor college kids. I thought the world was better when it was that way. But the system has been created where all that needs to happen now is the kid needs to get a lawyer and find the right judge to grant a temporary restraining order or a waiver or whatever, and you can mostly make anything happen that you want. You want to play for 8 years? Well, find the right lawyer and find the right judge. You want to go to the NFL and then decide it's not for you and come back? Of course. So I'm not surprised at all. This is just another symptom, or this is just another issue that has come from kind of the lawless state of college football. So I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, it's annoying and it's bad. I talked with a caller on my show last night about how a lot of people have gotten turned away from college sports. I think it's because we're losing the college in college sports. College football is not my favorite sport, but I get the appeal of it's a campus. There's tradition, the stadium, and they have a song, they have a band.
Yes,
and
very fun.
Yes, and to be 100% truthful, I don't need the college kids to be poor college kids. They can make a little money, but I want it to feel like they are college kids playing for a college team in a college stadium. And I think the more we lose that, the more the sport kind of loses what makes it the sport. And I think this is another example of that. But I'm not surprised at all. Of course the kids are doing this. Why wouldn't they?
Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show, always a pleasure. Don't get caught in a prostitution sting in Madison or Ohio or wherever the hell you're going to be in any county. Just please avoid that, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from Dunn County. If I'm going to find myself in a trailer park, I'll find some home brew. That's where I'll be. But busy week, so I won't be able to travel up to that part of the state this week. The pleasure is all mine. Nice to chat with you both.
We'll talk to Grant Bilse of the Wisco Sports Show again next Tuesday.
I guess I maybe would have tried to choke it down.
Just got back from his trip, Montana.
Went to Montana recently. Went fishing with some boys from college. And
they just want to know who the starting shortstop.
Yeah. We got bad news, happy music, and we got it coming up next.
Rock Mornings with Brian and Gene. More from Brian and Gene is coming up.
Can I have everyone's attention?
There's news.
After 40 years, they still can't find Jimmy Hoffa.
That's what I'm talking about. There's good news.
My family is making a grant to eliminate their student loans.
And then there's bad news.
I have some bad news.
All the crazy shit happening all over the world, including Florida.
Florida man bites dog to establish dominance.
All right, y'all ready?
Every weekday morning at about 8:35, Brian and Gene hook your ass up. It's bad news.
Bad news.
With happy music.
Happy, happy, happy.
Brought to you by Dahl Toyota. Here we go.
Does it matter if I say Racine or Racine? Does it really matter to
Racine.
you? Racine, okay. Racine County Sheriff's deputy facing criminal charges after his 3-year-old daughter accidentally shot a 40-year-old man and his 7-year-old son during a youth turkey hunt back in April at Honey Creek Wildlife Area in the town of Rochester. You hear about this?
I didn't, but so they're turkey hunting and a 3-year-old is carrying a real weapon?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?
And shot 2 people. allegedly. 35-year-old deputy James Lehman is on administrative leave following the off-duty shooting, which happened back in April during a youth turkey hunt. Charged with 2 counts of second-degree reckless injury, 2 counts of injury by negligent use of a dangerous weapon. According to the complaint, this guy was hunting turkeys with his 3-year-old daughter when he told investigators, quote, he saw what he thought was a turkey head and that he had his 3-year-old daughter pull the trigger of a semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The gunshots then struck a 40-year-old man and his 7-year-old son who were also turkey hunting in the area. The child victim, the boy, had to undergo surgeries. Still apparently has pellets in his spinal cord, his skull, and his brain. But you got to be pretty close to have that. I mean, like, you're not like 100 yards away. You're somewhere in the area, right? Have them lodge into your brain? Lehman told investigators he's not a very experienced turkey hunter. This was one of his first times out hunting independently. Did not have a hunter safety certificate because he was exempt due to his previous military service. But now this guy in big trouble.
Yeah, it sounds like he just propped it up next to her and she might have pulled the trigger, but was aiming completely at people that he thought were turkeys. Completely at people.
The flock cameras are a big deal. Everybody's talking about flock cameras. A 24-year-old hashtag Florida man, his name is Evan Meyer, was arrested for destroying a fake flock camera. Apparently the cops down there
are
3D printing fake ones so that they can capture people destroying them even though they're not real ones.
One of our officers has a 3D printer and figured out a way to print out a camera that looks remarkably like a LPR camera. We're trying to be good stewards of what the people trust us to do. It does benefit us when it comes to solving crime.
They're obviously going to keep their flock cameras out, and that's why they're making these 3D printed ones, is to confuse the criminals that are trying to cut them down and destroy them.
Oh, yeah, you want to cut them down? Here you go.
The real flock cameras down there in Florida have been stolen. They're expensive to replace, so the police have been putting up decoy flock cameras as bait to try and catch vandals, and they did. Less than 3 hours after they installed this one, this guy faces charges of grand theft, criminal mischief, damaging computer or electronic equipment, even though it isn't computer or electronic equipment. It's just a piece of 3D printed plastic. His total bond was $7,500.
We know you would have destroyed the real thing.
It's like a hamster in a wheel.
Yeah.
You're never getting anywhere. You're just circling and circling and circling and circling and circling.
You see what we did
there?
We faked
gotcha, bitch.
Out.
Wild card. Like, what are we doing? I get it, right? You don't want to replace the ones. You know, they're expensive, all that stuff. But so we're going to make fake ones so then we can catch the guys who are not destroying the real ones. They're just sort of destroying the real ones. To each their own, I guess. Staying in Florida, hashtag Florida. This is in Dixie County. A man who was riding a lawnmower on a county road, not on the highway, just a county road, arrested after deputies say they found suspected meth, marijuana, and other drugs in a bag on the mower.
I'm here to tell you about drugs and alcohol and why they're bad, okay?
Yeah, a narcotics deputy stopped the red lawnmower back on August 19th because it didn't meet the requirements to operate as a registered vehicle on public roads.
Most mowers probably don't.
The deputy reported smelling marijuana on the driver, a guy named Roy Lee McDaniel. That is a good Florida name right there. Roy Lee McDaniel. McDaniel admitted that he had smoked earlier in the day, told the deputy that the items on the mower, including a gray bag between his feet, belonged to him. The deputies then searched the bag, found some marijuana, some pills that were later identified as what's the one with the Pam at the end? Whatever it is. Also a hypodermic needle and a substance believed to be crystal meth. The suspected meth gave a positive field test, and this guy got himself arrested. Taken into custody, possession of meth, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, and some other drug paraphernalia. Note to self, if you're going to carry your drugs around, don't do it on your lawnmower.
Bag of drugs right here between my feet on the mower.
Yeah, maybe just walk. Ride a bicycle?
Or take the mower without the drugs.
Maybe. Well, he's probably going to get pulled over if he's riding it on a county road, though. Can't be doing that, Gene. A woman has now admitted to exposing herself while drunk in full view of other passengers mid-flight. Sarah Parker, not to be confused with Sarah Jessica Parker, was on her way to Melbourne, Australia from London back in July of last year.
And she took her clothes off?
Despite being, I think she was really drunk. Despite being instructed to remain seated, she boarded the plane drunk, disobeyed the pilot, got out of her seat during takeoff to use the bathroom. The cabin crew told her, hey, look, you can't be getting up during the takeoff. You got to wait until we're in the air before you go to the restroom. That's when she pulled down her shorts and underwear and stood in the aisle where fellow travelers could see all of her lady bits. Pants on the ground, Gene. She had her pants on the ground.
She sure did.
She's from Halifax. She pled guilty to outraging public decency. I got to be honest, man. I don't know, man. Something wrong would have to be going on down there for me to be outraged to see some bottomless lady Donald Ducking it on a flight. Winnie the Pooh going on over here. I don't know if I'm outraged. Of course, I don't have kids, and I don't mind looking at bottomless ladies.
Was she going to go to the bathroom right there, or her pants were in protest of the fact that they wanted her to sit down and put her seatbelt on?
My guess is that because she was intoxicated, she probably had to go to the bathroom. There may have been a war of words between her and the flight attendants.
You can't do that right now.
And then she said, well, watch me. One of these things, I'm just going to pee right here, and the next thing you know, she's exposing herself.
They could be exposing themselves, and you don't want us exposing ourselves.
Her charge stated that she behaved in an indecent manner by pulling down her shorts and underwear, squatting.
Okay, she was going to pee.
And exposing her vagina in full view of other passengers. Those guys are really looking.
Like, is her leg up on the...
Yeah. She also pled guilty to failing to comply with the pilot's lawful safety instructions and to being intoxicated on the plane. Well, that's their fault. I'm sorry. You should have known before she got on the plane, or you shouldn't have served her so much when she was on the plane. Something happened there between you people.
They haven't even served her yet. They're still at takeoff. She was served in the airport.
She failed to obey a lawful command, namely sitting in her seat and being instructed to do so and making her way to the toilet.
I mean, I don't believe this.
Although she probably really did have to
turn down like this. Staring you smack in your face.
Yeah, it was staring people smack in their face.
She probably really had to go, is my guess. She was drinking at the airport. She got on the plane, and it was taking too long to taxi and take off.
The judge in the case said exposing yourself on a plane full of passengers is quite serious.
No kidding.
Is it? What if it was some 3-year-old that decided to take their diaper off and run around?
Well, that's different than...
Is it?
Yes.
It sounds like two people without bottoms on to me, Gene. Why does it matter?
A grown lady squatting without her bottoms.
Her sentencing, by the way, has been put off until November 3rd. Penalties for public indecency can range from fines to jail time, depending on the culpability and harm caused or intended. Are people really harmed because this lady took her pants off and her hoo-ha was out?
No.
I mean, come on.
No, I don't think so, but...
We've got another one in our midst. Apparently, this is going to be a thing going forward. I'm glad I don't have many years left. I don't know how many I've got,
What's this thing for?
I'm glad I'm not going to live for another 100 years because I don't know if I can do this anymore.
What is it?
We've got another serial defecator. This is somebody walking around.
Yep.
They've got pictures of this guy. In the one picture that I see, he's got no shirt on.
From Ring cameras. Is this from
yeah, from all sorts, probably, flocks and rings and surveillance cameras, but he's got no shirt on. He's got one of these masks where the mouth is cut open.
Yeah.
You've seen people like that, right?
Yep. So it's like a stocking cap, black stocking cap.
No. Like a mask that we used to wear during COVID, but the mouth part is cut out.
I see what you're saying.
So the nose is covered and the things are around the ears. He's wearing glasses. He's got some sort of black...
But no shirt.
Hat on. It's either a hat or some sort of skull cap. He's got rubber gloves on, which I think he uses to keep the poop off his hands. And then he's holding like a doggy bag. So I think he's pooping and picking up his own poop. But yeah, this is in Tulsa. Police are looking for a serial defecator who has befouled several businesses in Tulsa, Oklahoma, while wearing only a thong and a cut-open mask and a shower cap.
I'm the party pooper.
The cops have responded to a shopping center after they got reports that a mostly naked man had repeatedly, pooped in a dog waste bag and smeared it on the walls and doors of a business.
You on my house. No. You on my house.
yourselves.
Wasn't this happening in California? Wasn't this like...
We've had several of these over the years, several of
yes,
these. It's hard to keep them all straight. These people are mentally ill, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Need to be put on the rocket ship to Mars.
Need some help. Need some help.
I don't know if help's going to help. I don't think help helps these people. These people, they're broken. They don't get it. The owner of the business had installed a security camera to catch the deviant because it obviously wasn't the first time.
Had been happening before.
Wearing only a thong, a cut-open mask, and a shower cap. Spotting him performing the same grotesque act on several occasions. Not just once, not twice, but several occasions. They got pictures of this guy in the video.
Mm-hmm.
You can see him. He's wearing glasses. He's got red Crocs, some sort of crossbody bag, some purple latex gloves, and the black shower cap. Shows himself on the camera doing his business inside of the doggy bag, and then taking that over to the businesses and wiping it all over the walls and whatnot. So there's that.
No, thank you on the cleanup.
What are we doing?
Ugh.
Serial poopers, Gene.
Yep. It's making an afternoon out of it. You know what I mean? Or an
It's
evening,
more of like an evening, a late
like
night occasion.
After dusk,
when everyone's closed.
Poop again. He called the shit poop.
In the cover of darkness.
Yeah. Tulsa police say, help us find this guy. If you know where we can find him, we'd love to relieve these business owners. I'm sure they would. I don't know. If it's happened several,
hang out at night, right?
My dad was a lunatic, an absolute 100% psycho. I've said this from day one. He's never been a sane person. But when someone egged our house one Halloween, he sat outside for an entire week after dusk and waited for them to come back, even though I told him, dude, it was a Halloween thing. They're not coming back. But maybe that's what you should do, right? I get it, right? You got a job and you want to go home.
Yes,
but I don't know, maybe wait around and catch the guy?
Mm-hmm. Security person.
Spring a trap on him or something? I mean, how many times does it have to happen before you then act upon it and try to capture this guy on your own?
Well, take turns with the other business owners. Like you have Monday nights out,
right.
Tuesday nights.
Get one of them lasso things in the ground where he steps in it and it shoots him up into the tree.
Right.
Or dig a hole and put a carpet over it and he falls in and the next thing you know, you gotcha, bitch.
Right. Call the cops. Hey, he's fell in the hole.
Or some sort of some sticky substance where he steps in it like a fly trap.
Stands on it and it.
Oh,
like the squirrels when they go on the.
God, I love those. When the squirrel gets in the
on the bird feeder. Pew!
After this fire pit gets done, I'm doing one of those.
They go for a ride. They step on the thing, and the next thing you know, ching!
I could sit there for days in my backyard watching squirrels get yeeted. That'd be great.